2023, Allianz MiCo, Milan, 2 days of working in order to talk about the future of artificial intelligence and its applications for business. In this moment, we are together with David Gunkel, who is a full professor in communication at Northern Illinois University. Thank you for being with us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So, David, today with you, we want to talk about the ethical side of artificial intelligence. How much is important to have an ethical point of view when we want to adopt artificial intelligence in our companies, organizations, and other things like that? And how can we do it in the right way, in the best way possible?
Yeah, this is a really big question, but it's a really important question because these artifacts that we are creating have an impact on our social world. They're not just another tool. They're a really life-changing kind of technology that really is disruptive to a lot of our expectations. And as a result, we want to make sure that we integrate them in a way that is responsible and responsive to our needs and the kind of future we want to create for ourselves and for our children. So it's looking at questions of liability, accountability, responsibility for when these devices are taking actions and decisions in our world. But it's also trying to figure out what role they play. Are they just things? Are they kinds of persons? Are they in between person and thing? How do we fit them into our current moral and legal structures so that we can make sense of them? Because it's really about us and not about the robots and the AI.
Because the human need to be in the center of the loop, more or less. And so the ethical side is so important. But when you think about the challenges and opportunities in the relationship between the robots as new devices to adopt in companies or in organizations and the AI and the ethical point of view that can bring the human in the center of the loop, what are the most important ones?
So I think some of the most important ones to focus on is how are we going to decide the social, moral, and legal status of these devices? Are we going to say they're just tools and objects and pieces of property, things in our way of speaking? Or are they a kind of person? Do they have a kind of status like the corporation is a person? You can already see the way in which we've scaled our moral and legal categories to respond to challenges of the past, like in the 19th century. We said corporations are persons because we wanted to be able to sue them. We wanted to hold them responsible for various outcomes. Will we need to do the same with AI and robots because of the role they play in our society? I don't think we have answers to those questions just yet, but I do think these are the important questions that are evolving as we try to resolve these kinds of questions.
And look into the future in order to fix these questions and their answers. What are, according to you, the next steps or priorities or trends to follow in order to have the best results possible?
So I think we need to look not only at the artifacts, what is the AI, what is the robot, what they can and cannot do. I think we need to look at ourselves. Technology is always a mirror, and it is a mirror we hold up to our human selves. And I think we got to ask ourselves some pretty probing questions about how we organize our social environment. The Romans gave us this person-thing dichotomy, and we've used it for 2,000 years very well. But we now have technologies that don't quite fit either box. And we may need to have a more fine-grained or more detailed way of organizing our moral and legal ontologies in order for us to have a future in which we are able to craft a set of laws, a set of programs, policies, regulations that really look out for our best interests and protect us from harm.
Also, the idea, the concept of looking at the technology as a mirror of us, of our bias when we train, for example, the AI, it's interesting. And I want to ask you a last thing. So, according to your position as full professor in communication, what could be the best advice to communicate with the AI in order to create this relationship stronger, but also more useful for making better the life of humans?
So I think this is where we've got some really powerful new tools that we didn't have previously, the large language models, right? It used to be that we thought we were the only creature on planet Earth with the ability to use language. Now we've created something else that can use language. As a result, it's challenging us to not only get more specific about our technology, but also get more specific about us. Maybe language is not this kind of special thing that makes us exceptional. Maybe it's just, something we share with animals and something we share with our machines. And that opens up, I think, a whole new range of thinking about who we are and what our position is in the world and our relationship to the other things that we occupy this planet with.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.